Yo, what's going on, man? It's JP. Just want to jump in and talk some more NBA, man. Free agency started yesterday. It's been pretty lit, man. Money's been getting dealt almost everywhere you can think of. Phoenix, Miami, New Orleans, Chicago. Everybody's spending money on players right now, getting ready for the 2021-22 season. So obviously it's expected. The draft just ended. You dig? A lot of teams just read up on their fresh young players out of college, you know what I'm saying, and overseas, things like that. But yeah, man, free agency was pretty lit, man. It started off for me when the Lonzo Ball news came in and found out he was going to Chicago. That was a pretty big deal. I mean, everybody was basically tweeting free agency signings, you know what I'm saying. Mike Conley Jr. signed a 3-year, 72 and a half. Tim Hardaway Jr. 74 million. No news on Kawhi yet. We know he opted out. Lonzo Ball 4-year, $85 million deal. For a 3-year, $90 million for Kyle Lowry. So yeah, a lot of teams making moves. Let's go with this Chicago, man. Chicago, man, they really wanted Lonzo Ball for like a few years. They kept having reports out saying that they were going after him, and they were just trying to get the deal done. So I'm glad they actually, what I mean, they got Vucevic with the trade deadline. Early in the later in the this past season. So they cleared out some space and got Vucevic, got rid of Hutchison, and I forget what's the other guy name. Sent the other guy to Washington. I forget his name. The center, Wendell Carter's got sent somewhere else, and I forget the other dude's name right now. What's his name? Dang. But anyway, he got sent to Washington. Gafford. His name was Gafford. Yeah, Gafford got sent to Washington with Hutchison, and Wendell Carter Jr. got sent to Orlando. So yeah, they were clearing out space. It was a bummer that they couldn't get Lonzo at the deadline, because I felt like the momentum of the New Orleans Pelicans was just kind of going down. They were losing a few games, and they kept losing, just close little games. How New Orleans was losing, and the trade deadline was coming up, and then everything just gets funny around then, especially around Lonzo Ball, because it hasn't really been a year where he wasn't being expressed for trade. So he kind of been dealing with that stuff for his whole career. So I'm knowing Lonzo wasn't too much affected by it, but I think he felt like he was gonna get traded even more this year, which I don't blame him, because he should have knew if any year, he should have been thinking about he was gonna get traded, because he just declined the offer that New Orleans came to him with in the summer. He denied that, so I'm figuring he know that he might be getting traded at the deadline. So I think that was kind of his energy, but they didn't do it. Chicago didn't come off knocking. Pelicans basically just continue to lose under Stan Van Gundy. They made some trades. They got rid of J.J. Redick. They brought in Najee Marshall, Gabriel, and another player. I forget who else they brought in. But yeah, they got rid of Melly too, Nico Melly. They sent him to Dallas along with J.J. Redick. So yeah, everything was pretty decent. I felt like, man, the bummer with the New Orleans season that happened this season is when Josh Hart basically went down. Once Josh Hart, sorry, I'm turning on my stove. But yeah, once Josh Hart kind of went down, it was kind of over for New Orleans this season. It really was. They didn't have that wing defender and that 3-point shooter that Josh Hart was. And they also, lost J.J. Redick too. So the New Orleans team just completely got bad. They brought in James Jones as well. That's one person I forgot. Yeah, they brought in James Jones and Najee Marshall. They some pretty decent players, but they wasn't what New Orleans needed at that point. New Orleans needed 3-point shooting, and they just didn't offer any of that to help Lonzo or B.I. and Zion out. So Stan Van Gundy's lack of being able to get a control of that team just kind of made this season just worthless and pointless. They kept losing close games. They were winning some games, and then they were just losing some close ones that were just, killers. In the NBA, you got to win 75% to 80% of your games if you want to be good in the West. You can't be losing these close games, those gimme games, and then losing your hard games. So then you losing the gimme games, then you losing the games that you really shouldn't won anyway. But the way New Orleans was playing, they was winning some games. I remember they went out, beat Utah, went out the Milwaukee, beat them. So they got some tough wins on their belt. They had some tough wins under their belt. Beat Miami early in the season. They had some tough wins, and they just lost some of the easy wins. They should have won. They just lost them, and then same thing that's been happening with the trio: Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart. That stuff been happening to them for about 4 seasons. So they know how it is. They always, looking to each other to close, and it's just, just not there sometimes. And then inserting Zion into it. Yeah, Zion is a scorer, but they needed that guy that was going to close those games and just really finish out those games and ensure those dubs. And I don't feel like New Orleans, that core, they really trusted each other, because it was a lot of hesitancy on the last shots, on who was going to take the last threes. And, me personally, I thought Zoe was the best three-point shooter. So I always wanted him to start taking some of them clutch late threes into the game that he would like pass away from. I feel like New Orleans did a bad job of giving him that comfort to know, like, yo, you need to be shooting these like late into the clock too. And I just feel like he didn't ever gain that because he was always kind of a pass first guy, and he was kind of playing out of his position the whole season too. So that's basically why he got tied up into that, like being into that type of player where he was playing a 3-and-D guy basically, because the coach took the ball out of his hands. Now you passing the ball up before you even get to half court. You not even in the point guard. You playing 3-man now. And I feel like, Lonzo, that kind of really affected the way he was able to jump in and out of the point guard mentality, I felt like. But even though he played that 3-and-D role as good as anybody could expect it, I mean, I was baffled some nights, him going, 5 for 9 from 3 and stuff like that. That stuff was crazy because I remember the air balls, though. I remember it was, when he was shooting, brick ethos, as we call them. Like, I remember he was shooting those at Staples and people was laughing, and he was all over Sports Center airballing, so to see him turn himself into and we saw sparks last year under Alvin Gentry. We saw sparks of what his 3-pointer could have did. Even we saw it under Luke Walton as well. His first, 2 years with the Lakers, we saw that he could be a good 3-point shooter at UCLA. We knew he was shooting good there, even though the 3-point line a little shorter there. But we saw it. We saw a little bit of what could be done. And, I'm glad he just worked on it and turned that percentage up, and then he got better at the free throws. So that's one thing I really respected about Lonzo, his ability to show that, hey, I could put this work in over the summer and come back year after year even better and better. And that's one thing that got him paid by the Chicago Bulls. One thing that shows in life and in a person is hard work. If you work hard, Lonzo, B.I., they was infamously known for hooping all the time in the gym. Workhorses, you know what I'm saying? Always in there getting shots up. Before or after the game, they going into the gym, they shooting, they work with Fred Vincent, the shooting coach. They was just down. He stayed down and wanted to fix his game. Hooked up with Rich Paul, got in the gym with Chris Johnson last summer. So now this is second summer working with Chris Johnson. And anybody know about Chris Johnson, he'll work you out, and he's a really good personal trainer. He's a good NBA trainer. And, you work with him, you're going to work hard. And that's what Lonzo did. He worked on his finishing. He worked on that shooting touch. And still developing it in game. But like I said, he showed the progression. Your hard work shows. And that's what Lonzo continuously did. He showed that hard work. They said, he ain't as good as a defender as he was when he was a rookie and a sophomore. I beg to differ. I think he's that same defender. But when you playing against Dame Lillard one night, Chris Paul the next, Steph Curry after that, and you don't got no shooting guard or no three man that's gonna willing to hold no defense. Because let's be honest, not here to rag on Brandon Ingram and Zion, but they were some of the worst defenders you ever see in the league. I'm talking about anybody can score on them. So and that was pathetic for me to watch, So Lonzo in Chicago, big news, you know what I'm saying? We finally got our point guard in Chicago. I know we've been looking ever since, Rondo and D Rose. So we've definitely been looking for a guard who can set this thing up for my dog Zach LaVine, who's been a breakout Bull star. I never gave Zach the full credit for what he's done in Chicago his last 3 years, but man, he's turned it around. I watched him get drafted out of UCLA. Zach LaVine, I forget which pick he was. I think he was top 15. I know he was top 15 around then. He got picked in Minnesota, and he ended up getting hurt in Minnesota. So I never really seen him do too much until he got to Chicago, and he was like a scoring machine. And I just was like, I didn't really like it at first, but then as he started to mature, his body started to mature. Zach's, I started to see like, all right, well, this guy can be a good combo scoring like a guard, small forward, three guard. You know what I mean? He got the size, he got the hops, but his scoring ability has become just something amazement. It's amazing watching him score like over the years. So him and Lonzo, man, a backcourt I never thought I would see together, but I'm happy it happened, man. I'm not gonna lie. This thing, I'm so excited for this next season in Chicago. United Center gonna be rocking. It's gonna be lit. Hopefully LeVar Ball don't do too much talking down on the Chicago Bulls franchise if anything goes wrong, because y'all know how LeVar Ball get. But man, I'm excited to have a Ball brother in Chicago. I thought about it, what it would be like if it happened, but I just never thought it would happen. Like I never thought that we would get Lonzo. I know it was always this speculation, like report after report after report, that they wanted him. Even in the draft, like I was hearing Chicago wanted him when he went, when he got drafted to the Lakers. I was hearing if he fell to the seventh, I think it was the seventh pick the Bulls had that year, that they wanted him, and they were trying to get him in. So yeah, this whole Lakers thing, man, this whole Lonzo Ball situation to the Chicago just had me reminiscing about the old days, watching him play, at the Staples Center when him and Kyle Kuzma, and Josh Hart had just got drafted, and they had, just started meshing with Brandon Ingram and Julius Randle, and they had Brooke Lopez, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, and that young Lakers team that I started watching, shortly after Kobe retired, man, and how I got a video about them guys in the links too, in my videos too. I dropped earlier, but yeah, man, just reminiscing on about that young squad, and that was just the fun times, man. I was actually living in Los Angeles or during those times too, so I could vividly remember like the Lonzo Ball coming there era, the big baller brand, all of that going on. It was just a dope times, the shoe culture was getting so big, and Lonzo had his own shoe in LA, and Kuzma was, nobody knew Kuzma. Kuzma was just a kid out of Flint, Michigan, who got drafted out of Utah, and how they were just on Instagram, and they really have a special place for the Instagram community in basketball too, because they were Lonzo Ball and them. They were the first kind of like social media basketball stars in the NBA. I'm not saying they're the first, but they're like some of the most popular and the most known, So the way they kind of got to LA, they got, him, Lonzo Ball, Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, funny guys, in the Los Angeles area, from the millennial culture, Gen Z kids, basically, coming in with their cell phones, being on Instagram all day, making fun of each other, not being too serious about the NBA, but just more like fun kids, man. And that's what drew me to that Lakers team, just how much fun they seem to have with each other, and how they would get on Instagram and Twitter and just make fun of each other and just be like normal people, man. And after that, man, I really started following that young Lakers squad, and I followed them for, man, till this day. And to see them all like split up, Kyle Kuzma just got traded from LA to DC for Russell Westbrook. Him and Montrezl Harrell and who else was in that? Montrezl Harrell, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, and Kyle Kuzma. They got traded for Russell Westbrook and also a second round pick or something like that, I believe. So Kyle Kuzma gonna be in DC now with Bradley Beal. So shout out to Kyle Kuzma, one of my original. They're one of the original gang, one of the young dog Lakers. You know what I'm saying? The last original, one of the last original draft picks of the Lakers. During when Kobe was alive. So yeah, but that's still one of those guys are still my favorite players around the league. I talk about a lot of players, but I talk about them mostly today in this in this show. We gonna talk about them because those are the dudes, man. Them dudes are my guys. Like I ain't, and to see Lonzo Ball today or yesterday, get sent out to Chicago, my hometown team, after watching him for 4 years, 2 in LA, 2 in New Orleans, and to now he can spend 4 in Chicago with a player option. So yeah, we giving him some money, and he had an option to stay or go if that's what he want to do in a couple years. Yeah, so it's crazy, man. It's crazy just how everything come full circle in the NBA. How once your rookie deal is up and you got to get extended, or you become an unrestricted free agent, and if somebody don't match, your team don't match that offer, you can leave, or you get traded earlier, cut, So the whole NBA, the way you get retained by a team is just crazy from the jump. How you get in there, The whole thing is just bananas. But yeah, man, I just wanted to come on YouTube and like really just talk and give y'all like just an audio version of what was thinking about pertaining to this trade in Chicago. Man, I know I call all my Chicago homies. Everybody's excited for Lonzo. Nobody said anything bad yet or crazy. Nobody's really hating. Everybody just wants to see a good Bulls team in Chicago. If you understand Bulls fans, man, they really love their team. You know what I mean? And nobody rags on anybody, and it's just like, it's just a dope franchise, a dope, city. Everybody in Chicago is a sports fan somehow, some way. So everybody reps, all the franchises there, whether it be the Cubs, the White Sox, the Bears, the Blackhawks, the Bulls, Chicago Sky. All those teams get mad love in the city from everybody everywhere in the city, So I'm sure Lonzo Ball gonna be definitely welcome with open arms. I'm already welcoming. I told my boy, take him out to get him a beef. You know what I'm saying? Take him to Jimmy's, get him a Polish. All that stuff, man. Take him all around the city, get him some red eyes. You know what I'm saying? Take him to Clark and Lake, take him to Ronnie's, get him some food out of Ronnie's under the Clark and Lake Blue Line stop. Take him around Six Corners, Wicker Park, Lincoln Park, Pilsen, all around the city, man. Lonzo got to get that Chicago welcome, man, for sure. So Chance, anybody in Chicago who lit, you know what I mean? I told my boy Trish J, bring my dog Lonzo Ball around the city. Let him get comfortable, man. Julian, all my dogs out there, man. Yo, Portage, for real. Y'all see Lonzo Ball, man. Show that man the most love y'all could show a player person. The same love y'all showed me when I moved back to the city to go to college. You know what I'm saying? And I fell back in love with Chicago. That's how Lonzo is going to fall in love with the city. You know what I mean? The food, the women, the nightlife, the night lights. You know what I mean? The architecture. You know what I mean? Just the culture of Chicago. I feel like Lonzo fits that perfectly. And I just think if he stays downtown or He'll probably get him one of a house somewhere in the suburbs, outskirts or something like that. But I think he should stay downtown Chicago. You know what I'm saying? All that. I know the Bulls facility, training camp facility, is kind of out the way. I don't think it's downtown Chicago anymore. Oh, I don't know. It might be. I think the facility is downtown Chicago. I might be wrong about that, but I don't know if they work out somewhere like in the burbs or something like that. But yeah, wherever he at, take him out, check him out, man. But I'm telling you, everybody is excited to see this man in Chicago, and I don't blame him, dog, because it's on, it's popping, it's up and stuck, man. I'm telling you, Bulls wanted this point guard. The Bulls needed a point guard, you know what I mean? And the New Orleans Pelicans, man. Only thing I got to say to David Griffin is you better be right on Lonzo Ball, because you really just basically insured your ticket of losing Zion Williamson within the next 2 years. Like, you can almost guarantee Zion is not staying there. They gave Devontae Graham a pretty decent-sized contract and got rid of Bledsoe. Devontae Graham seems like he'll probably be a decent fit with Brandon Ingram, but it feels like to me they both just shoot too much. So I don't know what New Orleans Pelicans was thinking. I don't know if they're gonna go with Kyrie Lewis at the point guard. They're gonna let Shea, what's his name, Nikhil Alexander, run the point. I don't know what they're gonna do. If they just gonna let Devontae Graham run the point, or he gonna play two, I don't know. I'm gonna watch a bunch of New Orleans Pelicans games next year, but not nearly as much as I'm gonna watch Bulls games with Lonzo. So, Willie Green, I wish you the best in New Orleans. I wish y'all make it to the playoffs over in that Western Conference Finals. I'll be definitely checking in on Zion and my boy B.I. Much love to B.I., man. I hope you can find your way out of New Orleans, B.I. I know that ain't nowhere you want to be. You obviously made it clear that you wanted to get out of there and go to Miami. I don't think B.I. is really going to be happy to take the floor next season without his boy Lonzo there or Josh Hart. Somebody said they still working on that Josh Hart deal, but I doubt they're going to be able to sign Josh Hart. As of right now, I don't know if Josh Hart has signed or has he signed anywhere else. But if they didn't sign Josh Hart, the Pelicans are just so stupid. That would be so stupid. It'll be literally like they traded Anthony Davis for basically just Bi. You know. Some of y'all could say, "Ooh, that might be a good trade to y'all," but to me, that's a horrible trade. That's a horrible trade. But yeah, we're gonna end this video, man. I just wanted to talk about the Chicago Bulls trade. Chicago is up. I'm going to a lot of games next season. You can be sure of that. Getting that Lonzo Ball Chicago Bulls #2 jersey for sure. Soon as they drop it. If y'all want to hear more of these type of audios, let me know in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know JP Sports, man. Give me a like and subscribe. Follow all that if you want to. If not, just come and check out more of my videos and ask questions. If you want me to make a video about a certain player or a certain thing, just type it in the comments and I'll get it done. You dig?